It is carrot harvest day today. I'm very excited. I'm going to share with you exactly how to know when to harvest your carrots, how to harvest them so that they don't get rubbery, and then also how to store them in the simplest way possible. No canning, no root cellar, they'll last for months. So the first thing I do when I'm getting ready to harvest my carrots is I think about timing, right? Carrots grown in the fall do take a little bit longer. I think some seed packets are going to tell you it's like 60 to 70 days. Nope. 90 days is kind of the minimum number for me. So when I start hitting that 3-month, or when I start kind of seeing that the tops of the greens don't seem to be getting bigger, I start to take a look at the roots, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But when I hit that 90-day mark is when I'm going to start looking close up to see whether or not they can be harvested. Now, carrots can actually be harvested at any stage really, but I do this type of like a 3-phase thinning approach when I'm thinning my carrots, and so that way, like the first thinning is like right when they come up and they're seedlings and they're babies. They haven't formed roots at that point, but then I wait until they're probably halfway through their life cycle, so about 1.5 to 2 months in, before I do my second set of thinning to give the carrots more space and more room to grow big. And when I do that, I actually pull up little baby carrots, and they're completely edible. In fact, I think they're sweeter the smaller that they are. So you can do a baby harvest, so you don't have to get these giant carrots. But I know we're all looking for the largest carrots possible. I get it. And you know, a lot of that has to do with space, but it also has to do with, are you harvesting them when they're at their appropriate stage? And so 90 days is the first thing. The second thing is, how big does the root look above the ground? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a close look at the base, and you're just going to kind of brush away the soil until you can see that carrot. You see that? If that carrot is quarter size around, it's probably big enough to harvest, but this one's more like $half size. So usually the height of the carrot or the depth of the carrot is in correlation to how wide the carrot is. But let's see, sometimes they fool you and that's not necessarily the case. So then to pull it up, you're just going to kind of wiggle until it kind of breaks free. And then you come straight up. Oh, that is a magical, perfect carrot. Look at that thing. Now these two were grown pretty close together. You can see they're maybe an inch and a half apart. Usually that would make these much smaller, but let's see. Let's pull them both. Wiggle. Ah, still pretty good. You can see one ended up a little bit smaller. This one looks really good with those carrots being so close together. I usually thin my carrots in 2 rounds. So the first round is when they're very young, very tiny. I will space them to 1 or 2 plants every 1 or 2 inches. I just clip them at the base so that way they stop growing. The second round that I do is once they're baby carrot size, so like that one right there, I will pull those out when they're too close to another size carrot. I get a baby harvest as well as a full size harvest. So these were smaller mainly because of 2 reasons. They're in the center of the bed and I didn't space them out properly. So the center of the bed is going to get a little bit more shaded. It's not going to get as much sunlight. And then also the aspect of the fact that all of these right here were like clumped together in the planting area. Didn't give them enough room to grow. That's okay. We can still eat these. It doesn't matter the size. In fact, these tend to be sweeter. Now let's get the rest of these carrots out. When I first started growing carrots, it probably was the first maybe 2 or 3 years that I really just could not get them to germinate at all. Or I would get them to germinate and it would be so incredibly spotty germination that, you know, I'd end up with a whole bed, but that whole bed only accounted for maybe 30 carrot seedlings, and a lot of them were like grouped together. It was just a mess. So I've learned a lot along the way with growing or getting carrots to germinate, especially in hot climates. The biggest thing is keeping them covered until they are able to germinate, which can take up to 21 days. So it is a long period of time for germination. But keeping them covered helps to keep the soil around them moist. Wow. Look at that monster. I think that might be the biggest carrot I ever grew. But back to what I was saying is to get them to germinate, you really need to make sure that that soil stays moist. But at the same time, you can't plant that carrot seed deeply. It's a super tiny seed, so it really needs to lay on top. So how do you keep the soil moist when the seed lays on top of the soil? Well, you could be out there 3 times a day watering the soil and the seedling. But the thing that I prefer to do is I water the soil super deeply when I put down the seeds, and then I put cardboard or burlap, or some people even use wood on top of it, and it basically blocks the sun from evaporating the water off of the soil, and it helps those seeds stay moist. This is the hardest part about growing carrots in the south here, or in really warm climates, is getting them to germinate in the heat. The other thing I learned about carrot germination is that carrot seeds go bad very, very quickly. I mean, you can take care of them and keep them out of sunlight and keep them from getting cold and all the things to keep seedlings lasting longer. But I have found if carrot seedlings or carrot seeds are over a year old, they have a terrible germination rate. And just in general, I feel like carrot germination rates are pretty bad, even if they're within a year. So I have always gone by the principle of putting way more seeds down than what I ever needed or ever wanted. So I will just get a whole pack of seeds, hundreds if not thousands of seeds, and I will put those down and then I thin them later. It's better than having like this patchy germination thing where it's taking up room in your beds when you didn't want to have to dedicate that much space to this patchy germination. So just keep that in mind, that the seeds are very finicky, not just with germination, but just in general. So we have everything from great, super big, to medium, to super tiny. And I'm okay, I'm grateful for all of it. The next thing you want to do rather quickly is get your carrots off this bushy side. So you're gonna take the carrot, grab one hand on the carrot, the other half on here, and twist until it rips off, right? Now the reason why you want to do that, especially here in the south, is that something about when these guys start wilting in the heat, this starts becoming rubbery, you know, like flexible, no longer crisp. I don't know what causes it. I'm assuming, like, you know, the tops of the greens start to wilt because of like the lack of water, or the, you know, being exposed to the heat outside. I don't know what causes it, but they get rubbery really fast. So the first thing you want to do before you even bring them inside is to rip those tops off. Now the tops can be used for a lot of different things. You can put them in salads, they're completely edible. You can make a pesto out of them. You can use them as compost. You can use it as mulch. You can put it in stews, kind of like you would celery tops. You can dehydrate it and make it into a seasoning. There's like a ton of things. I have done all those things over the years, and to be honest, I'm not really a fan of the flavor. It's okay, but I would much rather have basil as my pesto, and I would much rather have celery tops as my seasoning, or stuff that I put in stews and stuff. So I grow all that stuff, so I'm just going to use that. But what this is like exceptional for, exceptional, is an organic mulch. It's so like thin and wispy, and it dries out super quick, so that way it like feeds the soil, but at the same time it's got like this nice ability to like cover the soil, kind of like grass clippings does. And so that way like it is just a really, really good mulch heading into our warmer season. Some of these that are really like too small to really do anything with, I don't even take those. You absolutely can, they're edible, but it's just like more stuff that I have to deal with. The other thing that I don't do is we're not going to wash these. I know that feels weird. The most that I'm doing is like kind of like taking the excessive dirt off of it and then dropping it in my little pile over here. That's it. So let's get all these guys disconnected, and then we'll move on to the next step of storage. The first year I grew carrots to completion and actually had success with growing them, I was so excited to take pictures and like keep the tops on the carrots, because I thought it was just so cute. You see them in the grocery store and you're like, oh, they do it. You know, obviously you can leave the tops on. And I did that. I left the tops on, and it was within an hour or two that the carrots become like super rubbery. And I was like, what did I do wrong? And it took me a while of research and everything else to figure out that you really need to take those tops off. Now they can get away with it in the grocery stores and maybe even in northern climates because their weather is more warm, but down here where it's very hot, and even inside of our houses, which we keep very cool with air conditioning, it still is much hotter than in other places. And something about that wilting of the leaves causes the actual carrot root to basically wilt and become rubbery. They're still edible. You can still eat them. I don't know if they store as long when given that situation. So I always get those off right away. And it has always been perfect for me. So whenever I hear people talk about that their carrots get rubbery, I always wonder how long the tops were left on the carrots. So here's all the carrots that we got out of this half a bed, not including all the baby carrots that I didn't take and the ones that I harvested before. But I think it's pretty good for half a bed. So now I'm going to take all of the carrot tops and I'm going to put them into the bed as a mulch. I just think carrot tops are like the very best mulch ever. And if I could eat more carrots in a year, I would totally grow more of the tops just for the mulch. It is such an amazing organic mulch. It feeds the soil and those little carrots decompose in the soil. It's like composting on top. I cannot state how important organic mulches are, like this, like plant debris mulches. They feed the soil and it makes it so much more healthy. We have all of our carrots and now I'm going to show you how I store them. Now I have done canning, dehydrating, and freeze drying as a preserving method. And they work okay. The canning of honey carrots is pretty good. I like that one. They're quite soft, and I'm kind of a crisp vegetable kind of person, so they're okay. Especially like in stews and things like that. It's soups. They work really well. Dehydrating, not my favorite. They don't rehydrate very well. Freeze drying is actually probably the closest. They freeze dry pretty well and they rehydrate okay. They lose some of their color and a little bit of their sweetness. So, okay, but still nothing is better than a fresh carrot. Absolutely nothing is better than a fresh carrot. So the way we're gonna store these are as fresh carrots, and they're gonna last several months in the refrigerator. So I've got a couple baggies. I have reusable baggies, but I'm just swimming in produce right now, and so my entire freezer is full of all these vegetables and stuff. So I have to use the throwaway bags, the little plastic baggies, because my reusable ones are completely full right now. So we're gonna get just a paper towel. You can use a tea towel if you don't want to use paper towels. Tea towel, a little small washcloth, anything like that. You're basically just trying to get something that's going to collect some of the water. In the past, I washed these and put them in baggies without paper towels, and they got mold. Not quickly. I will say it probably took them like 2 or 3 months to get the mold, but they did get molded pretty aggressively. So I'm not washing them this time. I've been harvesting them for a few months now, like little bits, and I've been doing it this way, and they have been doing so much better. So you don't even like get the dirt off. The most that you do is just kind of like any extra little big pieces or whatever, you take them off. And then you just throw them in here. It's really super simple, guys. When you go to use your carrots, you are going to want to peel them, wash them, all the normal things that you would do even with carrots from the grocery store. Now, I have found that homegrown carrots, especially if you're gonna eat them soon, they don't really need peeling. If you just kind of scrub them a little bit, that's enough. Like the outer skin is not as tough as the stuff in the grocery store. That's either a variety situation or a like packaging situation. The stuff in the grocery store might have been sitting there for already several months, and over time, the skins of the carrots do get harder and thicker, and that's when the peeling really needs to take place. But you'll know if you go to scrub them and they aren't scrubbing off, then you're ready. Look at the size of that one. That probably might be one of the biggest carrots I've ever grown. And in case I didn't mention this earlier, these are new Caruto carrots. I planted a bunch of different kinds, but hardly any of them came up because I was starting them like in August and September, and carrots really down here in the South, October. or November is really the magical date for these guys. I don't know why I keep trying to start them earlier, but all my atomic purples and my atomic reds and all those, or purple elites and atomic reds, all those carrots, none of them came up. But the Nucudra, which is Nucudra, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but those always come up so well for me. They grow really well for me. They handle the heat. I could have left these in even longer and they would have probably just kept getting bigger, but I kind of need that bed for, I don't know, peppers or tomatillos, either one. And so I need to get them out. So some of these small ones, I probably could have picked all the big ones and left the small ones, and they will just keep growing and getting bigger. Now there is a limit. So once it starts really heating up, they are going to slow down. The roots aren't going to grow as much, and you're also going to run the risk of getting carrots that don't taste as good. So I'm happy with the size they are now. Looks like we are 2 gallons. And I think I got 1 more gallon inside of the little baby carrots that I harvested when I was thinning them the second time. Let's get these sealed. And I'm gonna seal them completely. I used to only like leave a little gap like that much, but I don't like the condensation that it did. I think that contributed to the mold. So there we go. And these are just gonna go in my garage fridge in the very, very back. I want them to stay very, very cold. You can also put them in the crisper drawer. And these will last for months like this. And you can just go and pull fresh carrots whenever you want. Now this is by far the easiest way to store carrots.